Well, it's Friday, April 15th, and I am still Jared Wade, Communications Director for the town. I am here with Town Manager Ryan Cannon. Last night we had a Town Council meeting. There were a few things on the docket. We were here for a couple hours last night, but we're going to try to condense those 2 hours down to about 5 minutes. So let's go ahead and get started. Ryan, what happened at the meeting last night?
It was actually, even though it was a little bit long, it was pretty straightforward. We just had a couple of rezoning cases that were, I think, the highlights of the meeting. The first thing of importance is the town council did approve quotes for the police to replace about 1/3 of their computers. That included some laptops for their vehicles and a bunch of other things. So the town council did that first, so that's great. The second thing is, in our zoning ordinance, we have a process that requires rezonings to actually go to the town council before they go to the planning commission. The planning commission ultimately makes a recommendation, and the town council has the final decision. And so part of that process is that helps the council give some feedback to the developer, so if they need to make any changes prior to going to the planning commission, the developer has that opportunity. So last night we had an introduction of a subdivision called Oriole Estates. It's proposed to go just to the west of Avon High School. It consisted of about 372 townhomes, but then they also partnered with the school corporation to do some expansion to the high school, play some tennis courts and some sports fields there. So again, that was an introduction. The town council provided them feedback, and then they'll make some modifications based on what they heard from the town council, and then they'll either go to the planning commission either in April or May, and then finally, ultimately, after they get a recommendation from the planning commission, they'll come back to the town council.
And just to confirm, nothing was voted on in regards to that. An introduction is literally an introduction. It's step one. It is the alpha level. They show up, they say, hey, here's what we want to do, and council says, thanks for letting us know. Here's our thoughts, here's our feedback. And then they take that back to their higher ups, and then they come back later on. And this is the very early beginning phases of a very long process, correct?
Absolutely, yeah. And it's the council's opportunity to give them feedback so they can make the project better, that they kind of have an expectation of what the council wants to see and what they would be willing to improve. So it's the very beginning of the process, but it's also a really important step before we get too far down the road that the projects aren't going in a direction that the town council is not going to support. So
perfect.
The next thing we had on the agenda was another rezoning. This was actually a final reading, so this one is at the end of the process. It had gone through the planning commission, and it had received a positive recommendation from the planning commission. And so the town council had a pretty long discussion about it. It was a proposed rezoning change from R1 to R5, and it was on a piece of property along the east side of Dan Jones Road, right across from Beechwood Farms. And they were proposing to put in 62 units on about 20 acres. So that's quite a few units on an acre. The town council actually voted against approving the rezoning, so that means it was denied. So that means that project is essentially dead and no longer moving forward. So, and I think the issues for the council, just as a summary, was I think there was concern about the density, and there was concern about access in the safety of people being able to get in and out of the development. So, and then finally, I think the last thing, which is important, the town currently has a ordinance where we regulate construction in the right of way. And that basically means anytime somebody's going to be working around a street or along a street or utilities or anybody who's putting things in, they're required to get a permit from the town, and so that we can make sure that our roads are put back in the proper condition, or that if they tear up yards, that they're put back in that condition. And so that's a right-of-way process. And so we haven't changed our right-of-way permit fees since about 2003. So we did we're adjusting that permit fee from $100 to $200. And that's based on our administrative and inspection costs to be able to cover the time that the town spends basically doing that. And then the second piece of it is to include some flexibility in our bonding, because we hadn't changed it. Construction prices have gone up, so we're increasing the bonding requirement for that. Plus, the bonding requirement is also we're putting in a kind of what we refer to as a cover bond, which would utility companies who may do 10, 15 permits a year, we have a higher bond level for them, so they can submit an annual bond. So they just submit once to us, and it covers all of their work that they do then throughout the year in our right of way. And so those people are typically, they're good at doing what they're doing, and it's easier administratively, it's easier for them, it's easier for the town. And so we're trying to put that flexibility in to allow us to be able to do that. So this was an introduction, and so it'll get a final reading in May.
Perfect. If you have any questions about anything that Ryan talked about, you're always welcome to email him, rcannon@avongov.org, or you can always jump on our website. All of our contact information is easily available on there. The website just got a new overhaul, revamp, and there's a lot of really great things that are accessible now. One of the biggest things that I've heard a very positive response from is the notifications. So one of the concerns that we had heard was people just did not know when things were happening. And now what you can do is you can sign up, and we will email you or text message you whenever an agenda goes live online. What that means for you is you'll get a text message or an email. You click the little link, and it'll take you directly to the upcoming agenda for Plan Commission or BZA or Town Council or anything in between. That way you know exactly what's going on. We want to make sure that we give you that information as quickly and efficiently as possible. All we need for you to do is sign up for that. So you can go to avongov.org and sign up for the specific agendas, the specific calendar events that you would like to receive notifications on. And if you ever want to change your mind, you can always jump back in there and then modify them. Also, I'm gonna try to post a few things on social media in regards to potholes. I know that's a big conversation right now. There are potholes all over the place. Our public works team, which consists of just 3 people, are working very diligently on making sure that those get replaced and repaired, not replaced, but repaired as fast as possible. But even if they drive all over Avon all day long, they're going to miss some. So we need your help. We need to find out, and we need to know where those potholes are located. And the best way that you can help us out with that is simply to go to the website, and then in the Action Center, so avongov.org, in the Action Center, there's a big button. You click that, and then Public Works has a report a pothole feature built into it. You can jump right into there, let us know where those potholes are at, and then our team of Betsy, Keaton, and Steve can get to fixing those and repairing those as quickly as possible. I think that is it. Brian, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Next town council meeting is April 28th. The public is always welcome. We encourage you to come. There are not 1, but 2 different public comments, so that way you have the opportunity to speak your mind and share with the council your thoughts and opinions of what's going on in Avon. They always welcome that, and they always welcome anybody to join them. So we will see you next time. Have a good one. Bye.